Hello, beautiful people. Hello, Facebook. How are you all today? It's good to see you live. And if it's your first time that you see me live or you find this video on a replay, my name is Natalia. I'm an inner mastery and consciousness mentor. And today I'm going to share with you a very special subject that came up from the conversation that I had with the clients, and that is success and supreme consciousness, or how to manifest success from the place of supreme consciousness. So, if you catch me live, please say who you are, say where you are from if I don't know you. Same if you find this video on a replay, please hashtag replay. Let me know you're watching it and let me know who you are. And of course, leave any questions or comments underneath this video. I love reading your questions and comments, and I respond to most of those. So I really welcome them. And is there anyone else? So back to the subject of success. So what we are going to talk about today: first, redefine the concept of success. Then we are going to talk about the right way of success from the position of supreme consciousness, and how you block your success. What are you doing not to be successful? Now, just to clarify, because from your comments, I see that there are a lot of confusions on the terms that I use. When I say supreme consciousness, I'm referring to the awareness of the truth of yourself. So I'm referring to the truth of what you truly are, the undescribable, unimaginable, timeless, invisible place deep within you. The supreme consciousness or supreme intelligence, another term that I'm using to describe that place that is already within you. So now that we cleared on that, the concept of success in our world, which is our personal consciousness, because our personal consciousness is the consciousness of the world. Yeah, so your personal consciousness is the consciousness of everyone in the world, because we all share the same conditioning, the same belief system, which have been imposed on us from the childhood. So in personal consciousness, success is described often as having a certain status, having a certain position, having power, having prestige, having money, achieving something that considered to be great, some top positions, or being someone well known and famous. All of that. Now, in truth, which is what the supreme consciousness is, success is harmony. Now, harmony means that everything in your life is just perfect. What means perfect in this instance? That everything in your life is fulfilling and joyful. Now, it's not the same as in personal consciousness. Another term for personal consciousness is ego, because ego wants success at any costs. So it doesn't matter that you are unfulfilled. It does not matter that you are unhappy, as long as you are um, as you have a certain position or a certain status or a certain amount of money, you consider it to be a success. Strange, isn't it? But that's the way our world is being designed. Our world is being designed on an illusion. What is an illusion? Illusion is when we operate based on our conditioning and based on certain ideas and beliefs that we project and build our life according to those beliefs and projections and conditioning. Now, the conversation that I had, what my client shared to me is that she's been trying to operate a business, and she's been doing that for several years, and it hasn't been going in the way that she wanted it to be to go. And what happened is when she looked deeply within herself from the place of pure, supreme pure consciousness, she realized actually that her drive to run a business was based on the illusion of creating a certain extraordinary identity of herself. Yeah, so she was, that's how that's how in personal consciousness we misinterpret things. So she believed that running a business would make her extraordinary or special. And when she actually looked at the truth of herself and she realized that, well, actually, I am already extraordinary because I am myself. Because in being ordinary, which is being myself, my true self, I am already extraordinary. So, and then she looked at that drive to run a business. She realized that it's not what she wanted to do. And that, of course, gave her tremendous freedom. Because if you are, and listen to that, because this is super, super important for you, because I know most of my clients and most of my audience are entrepreneurs, business owners, or people who are in a high achieving area. So for most of you, you have to see what are you actually pursuing by operating the business or doing any activities that you are doing. If you are pursuing the idea that something is going to fulfill you, so the activity or the business that you are doing is going to fulfill you, that this activity is going to create a certain status for you. So, for example, a certain label as a high achieving entrepreneur or a high powered entrepreneur or the 7-8 figure entrepreneur. If you are running after that, or you are running after some kind of idea that you need to prove yourself, that you need to show to others and to yourself that you are worthy, that you need to prove to others that you can make it, that you need to that you are running the business to feel worthy, yeah, or that you are doing your activity or running your business to get recognition, to get acceptance. You have to examine really, really carefully if these are the reasons, that if these are the driving forces behind your business, because that is not based on truth. And inevitably, you may get success in the worldly terms, yeah, money, recognition, and fame. but you will not be fulfilled and happy. Because as long as you are running a business or doing any activity based on a certain belief, based on conditioning, based on certain ideal of the future, or of the future self, or of the future identity, you are creating something in illusion. And whenever you are creating something in illusion, is bound to fail you, because all illusions fail. Which is why there are a lot of successful people who achieve success when they've been driven by these motives, as I outlined. But then, when they actually got what they wanted, they realized that it's not fulfilling. And they are deeply frustrated and discontented and unfulfilled. So this is something that you need to pay really, really close attention, because that's gonna save you many years of doing something which is not right and true to what you are. Now, coming back to manifesting success from the position of supreme consciousness, supreme intelligence that you are. Now, in this place that is within you now, that needs to be realized and embodied. So from this place, success is already within you. Now, what I mean by that? I mean that the supreme intelligence that you are, it knows already what is right and what is true for your life. So what actually happens is that first, you are not aware of the truth of yourself. You are not even aware of this place. So you are operating from the personal consciousness, which is a limited consciousness based on conditioning. And when you are operating based on conditioning, as I said, you are operating on the basis of illusions. So naturally, you are not doing something that is right and true for you, because you are operating in illusion. So that's what happens when you are not aware of the truth of yourself. Now, another thing is when you are aware of the truth of yourself, but you are not embodying it. Embodying it means you are not living it as your daily living reality. So your body and your brain does not work with the supreme intelligence or supreme consciousness that you are. Right? So in this situation, and this is a situation for most of my clients, because most of my clients, they know their place as consciousness, they are aware of themselves as consciousness. But then what happens is that there are still blueprints, structures, and tendencies of personal consciousness that interfere, that stay in between the truth that you are and its expression in outer life. So let's take an illustrative example. I always like to illustrate things, so because truth is always simple and easy and can be very easily illustrated. So here, deep inside, is supreme intelligence. Now then, imposed on that supreme intelligence, so this is supreme intelligence, this here, imposed on the supreme intelligence, your ego or your personal self, yeah? And here is the outer world, the sensory world that you see. Now, the truth is that from the position of supreme intelligence, inner and outer are one. It is just the illusion of that personal identity that stays in between the outer, your inner truths and the outer expressions that distorts distorts the flow, the creative flow that is coming from the place of supreme consciousness. Because you can only be creative from the position of supreme consciousness. There is no creativity in the position of personal consciousness, because this consciousness is very limited and is based on the past. So there is no creativity whatsoever there. It's just an amendment of past ideas. That's as far as it goes. Modification of past ideas. But true creativity, true original creativity, authentic creativity, comes only from this place of pure consciousness. So what happens is, so you know yourself as pure consciousness, and then there is a creative impulse that comes through you to do what consciousness wants to manifest in the outer existence through this body, because it's just consciousness. The only thing that truly exists is consciousness. Yeah. So that consciousness is manifesting through this body to create something in the outer world, but then it comes towards the structures of the personal self. So the impulse is coming there, and then it hits the wall. And then what happens? So either you cannot, your brain does not perceive correctly what is that is being manifested through you, because let's say it perceives, because let's say your brain still functions with a personal consciousness, and personal consciousness overlays the perception that is happening in the pure intelligence, because pure intelligence is always now. It's free from past memory. But then when past memory is overlaying the pure intelligence, your perception is distorted. It's like a medium. Your personal self is like a medium that distorts your perception. So you cannot understand the impulse that is coming through you. That's first part. Then you do not know what is it that the pure intelligence wants to do through your body. That's a second very important part, because you may think that you want to do something else based on your conditioning, but pure intelligence wants something totally different. And if you do not hear that, and if you do not have clarity to see what is it exactly that pure intelligence wants me to do, or wants this body to do, yeah. So that's a second point. And the third point is the self-expression. Because see, even if there is understanding of that pure intelligence, even if you understand what you want to do, but then you cannot express it in clear and concise way to the world, because then there are still these layers of personal identity that block your expression, your authenticity, and then your expression comes somewhat convoluted and unauthentic. And it's very easy to see, if you are very perceptive, who's being really authentic and who is trying to be authentic. There is big difference between those two. So these are the three key points that you need. First, knowing that place of supreme intelligence that you are. Then understanding what it wants to do through this body. And then having a skill to express that with clarity. What is it that it wants to do? Yeah, what is it that wants to come? What is it that it wants to communicate through this body? And because supreme intelligence already has the skill that is needed for you to operate in this world, and create success in this world. And I come back to the definition of success from the supreme intelligence. It's not what you have as such. It does not tie to any labels. It does not tie to any positions. Success is when your life is in total harmony and everything that you do is joyful and fulfilling. So for some, maybe being a CEO of a huge company, that is something that Supreme Consciousness wants to do through this body. For another one, it's staying at home and raising a family. That is right and true for someone else. And for another one, it may be having a small business. Maybe someone else does not want to manage the whole team and travel all the time. But that means that you need to know the depths of yourself and not being sidetracked or deceived by the superficial labels and superficial things and conditioning that are playing out in your life, or they might be playing in your life. Because Supreme Consciousness has what is called genius. Yeah, so the only genius is in Supreme Consciousness, as I said, because that's the only place of true creativity, the original authentic creativity. So it's a genius. Whatever's coming from this place is genius and is always right. Always. Absolutely. People may criticize that, people may question that, but it doesn't matter. It's always right. So that is something that I guide my clients towards. That is to realize that place of supreme intelligence, of supreme consciousness, and then to embody that and live it in their daily life. Because see, it's not enough that you just realize that I am consciousness, as many people do. Okay, you are consciousness, but then if you cannot operate from this place, if you still have that barrier, because personal self is the barrier really that stands in between you and reality, you meaning the supreme consciousness that you are, and the whole reality, the outward expression and the inner expression. As I said, this is one, because there is only consciousness. It's just that this thing that sits in between and creates a barrier for you in your life. So that is something that I guide my clients towards, to realize that and to live it, to embody that, to dissolve that intermediary, that the supreme intelligence and you are one, and that then inner and outer becomes one as well. And then there is something absolutely miraculous that happens, that you have the capacity to define or to manifest the circumstances of your life as yourself. How about that? How is this practical way of applying truth? How does it sound to you? If you are listening to me and or watching it, tell me, how does it sound to you to have that skill, that capacity to create the circumstances of your life as yourself? But when I listen, and I've done videos on manifestation already, and you can check them out. But when I hear all those steps to manifest, it's just, I'm always smiling, because that's not how reality works. Reality, I mean the truth, from the position of truth, the ultimate reality of supreme consciousness. So when you have that priceless capacity to define the circumstances of your life as yourself, what do you think your life will be like? Will you create difficulties in your life? Will you create struggle in your life? Will you create conflicts in your life? Will you create situations where you are limiting your opportunities or playing small, as I call it? Will you create the situations where you are not having enough money? Of course not. You see, the situations, only personal consciousness or ego creates life that it does not enjoy. And I will do another video on that because that's a whole different subject that you need to be aware of. But that's the truth. Ego creates life that it does not enjoy and is not fulfilled, because ego can never ever ever be fulfilled by absolutely anything in the world. Fulfillment comes from the place of supreme consciousness, and only that place can manifest or create life that is right and true for you. And that is life in total fulfillment, harmony, and enjoyment, where everything you create, your business, your relationships, is just enjoyable, is fulfilling, and is right and true for you. Those who are live with me, do you have any questions? No? Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. And if you're watching it on a replay, please leave your comments underneath this video or questions. And if you want to work with me one-to-one, please fill in an application form underneath this video. And if you are someone who is more advanced in truth, or in your spiritual development, or in exploration of consciousness, whichever way you want to call it, I invite you to Supreme Consciousness Facilitator training. This is an advanced training for those who are leaders in service, or for those who want to be leaders in service, and for those who are specifically called to facilitate consciousness shifts for others and help them transform their lives. So if that's you, please fill in the application underneath this video or send me a message. And if you find this video on my YouTube channel, please subscribe for more content like this. And wherever you find this video, please feel free to share it and make it available for more people to watch it. Thanks so much once again. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I see you soon.